All right, we got our little hole dug. Are you digging? Yeah, you're doing so good. You're doing so good. We rode into the little Honey Nut Cheerios Bring Back the Bees, and we finally got our wildflower mix in. So this is going to be Sky's little garden. We're going to go ahead and plant our wildflowers. All right, let's dig a hole. Alright, look, here they are. Now dump them right here. Good job. So they got a little bit of everywhere, but that's good. Alright, now we got to cover them up with dirt. Where's your watering can? Huh? Where'd your watering can go? You're not sure? So here's our garden we have for this year. We have our heads of romaine. We have broccoli. Those are our broccoli plants. We have spinach. We have one little marigold. We have curly kale. Lots of curly kale. I have no clue what that is that's sprouted. That has sprouted up from the compost. So I'm really not even sure what's growing, but I'm just going to let it grow and see what it is. There's the dinosaur kale. We planted it from a seed and we kind of got it out late, so it's just now starting to sprout. These are watermelon plants. We thought we had planted them too early and the frost would kill them, but they're doing pretty good. So that is sprouted from the compost. No clue what it is. It looks the same as that right there, so I guess we'll see. We have one gypsy pepper. It's like a sweet pepper plant, another marigold, and then a cucumber plant. So that's what we have in our garden. And then this is our Save the Bees mixture that we just planted. And I've actually got a couple stakes that are going to go through here with hanging pots, and just to kind of make it look nice, just to kind of decorate it up. So, and then we're going to plant pumpkins come July, because we're thinking about doing kind of like a mini pumpkin patch thing out here. So we're actually going to plant them out in the pasture. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to film and walk. We'll see how this goes. We just finished up planting the last of our flowers, and it is way too nice of a day to go back inside. So we're gonna go on a little walk. I got Sky in the stroller. Can you say hey? Hey. So we are going to try to get a couple miles in. We'll see. We'll see how far we make it. If you go exactly one full lap around the lake, it's a half a mile. But on the, like, almost the exact halfway mark, the lake is flooded over. So we can't walk all the way around. So we have to kind of walk one way and back, and then the other way and back. So we'll see how far we go. Figured I would kind of film a little as we walk and give everybody an update on what's going on with the house and the living situation and a little bit of all that. So first I'm going to walk over here and show you where the house is going to actually be. We have picked out an exact spot, so it's kind of hard to tell because it's grown up. We're going to try to bush hog and clean up the land this weekend, so hopefully that'll be a Saturday project. But I'll go ahead and show you a roundabout of where it's going to be. Okay, so here is our land. There is a flat spot, like right here. It's super hard to tell because it's so grown up, which, like I said, Saturday, hopefully we're going to get out here and bush hog and clean it all off, and you'll be able to see a lot better because we're about ready to put in the pillars to bring the container over here. So it'll be on this flat spot right here. And then our driveway is going to go right out there to the road. So we'll have a pretty long driveway coming in all the way, and then there's our house. So definitely not a bad view. So the big question everyone keeps asking is, what's the update on the container? Well, there's not one. Pretty much the last video that I posted, which has been over a month ago, we haven't done anything to it since then. We kind of just stopped prioritizing it. And then since then, we've pretty much completely redesigned the entire container. So I guess it was a good thing that we didn't get any farther than we did, because we've completely changed the layout. We've decided not to cut it in half. We originally, when we bought the container, we bought a 40-foot high cube, and we were going to cut it in half, and then we would have two 8x20 sections, and we were going to cut out, it's kind of confusing, but cut out the walls and put them together and kind of offset them to where it would be like one big open room. But since then, we've completely decided not to do that. We're going to keep it as one solid 40-foot container and just leave it like that. We saw a couple designs that we liked online and decided, why cut it? We just didn't see any sense in it. It was going to cost a whole lot of money with bracing to try and keep the structure stable, because we are going to come back in with a smaller one and put it on top. So we would have to have it very structurally sound. So we decided, why mess with cutting it in half and offsetting it when we can get a good amount of living space and have a loft as just one 40-foot container. So that's the goal now, well, that's not the goal, that is the plan, is to just keep it as pretty much as it is. We're going to cut out on one side for big double French doors and have a ton of indoor-outdoor living space. That was my biggest thing with living tiny, is I desperately need that indoor-outdoor space, and unfortunately the camper just doesn't have that. You're either inside or you're outside. So that's one thing that's like a have to for me with the tiny house, is to have a indoor outdoor living space. So we're gonna have big double French doors that lead to the outside, and we're gonna have a huge deck, and it's just gonna be so much better for when we host people, and just because like this time of year we live outside, so it would just make more sense for our family to have as much outdoor space as we do indoor. And plus I'm gonna have an indoor kitchen, but of course it's gonna be small, so I'm gonna have a outdoor kitchen to use for like all of my bulk cooking and my canning and things like that. So it'll just be a little bit easier cleanup wise and stuff. So we're still going with the container. We've still pretty much got the same goal to be in it by this summer. Hopefully, well, it should actually be easier to meet that goal now, because we're gonna have to do, in a roundabout way, less work to it than we would if we were gonna cut it in half. So that's the plan as of now. We've got half of it framed up. Luckily we didn't cut out any of the window holes yet, because we're actually putting the windows in completely different spots, so that's good that we didn't do that. Thankfully we didn't put any cuts in it at all, so it's still pretty much as is. And also it's going to be easier to put on pillars, because we're only going to have 4 instead of having multiple pillars like we were going to have before when we cut it. We're going to have more foundation spots. Now we can just mount it with the original 4 spots. And because, I mean, in the long run, neither one of us feel like we're going to live here for long, especially not forever. We definitely feel like we're going to be we need to be mobile. So if we keep it as a solid structure, we can move it with us. So no matter where we end up, all we'll have to do is buy land and we'll have our house with us. So that's pretty cool too. Come here, Sky, we gotta change your diaper. I know you're not asleep. Can I change your diaper? Are you asleep? Sky, I need to change your diaper.